Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game about collecting cards. Everyone who plays it knows that, but everyone has different ways of going about it. Most people skip packs and buy the exact cards they need from secondary markets. Others buy only sealed products such as packs and structure decks, living and dying by the luck of the draw. Some are lucky, some are smart, and I am neither of these things. In this series, we'll be fusing horrendous luck with even worse financial decision making, with the full intention of ripping off Nim Nim and Revs. We'll be rewinding to the nostalgic days of our youth to build a competitive deck with a strict budget of $25 and only using sealed product. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Restart, a budget sealed only challenge. Well, last week was very underwhelming, but maybe this time around we could do a little bit better. We're still on the hunt for Selene, and with half a box of Genesis Impact and 1.5 boxes of Dual Overload left over, maybe we can get a few cards that can help us out? Possibly? Again, main thing we need from Genesis Impact is still Zorua in order for us to start shiny hunting for Borreload Savage Dragon, though to be honest, I'm not sure if I'll continue to open the set after this one. I'll decide as I continue, but we may have better options to enable more negates. Mainly including cards from Dual Overload. We need Selene, another Sign of Mining would be great for the Live Twin engine that I reluctantly put in. Verde Anaconda would be absolutely huge in order to pull off the Dragoon engine. And we could possibly go for Needle Fiber, but how we would make that work is going to be a huge mystery until it actually happens. Also, last week, I forgot to use $2.50 because I'm an idiot. So with that in the Bahamut Shark, we have $30.50 for this week's opening. Let's open some packs. Boys and girls, these are the last few packs that we have. So with these, we have exactly as many as we can open. 14 packs of Genesis Impact, and then 2 packs of Dual Overload makes for exactly $30. The only issue with that is, we have 1 pack left over of Genesis Impact. So, what do we do with this? So what we're going to do is we're going to open it on camera right now, and if I don't get anything at all, whatever. If we get an Ultra Rare out of this pack, I will be very upset. Secret password. Okay, cool. So, this is literally an extra pack that just happened to be laying around. We've got 14 packs of Genesis Impact. We've got 2 packs of Dual Overload. So let's do the Genesis Impact packs first. We've actually still got the chance at a... Hello? We've still got the chance at a Collector's Rare, possibly?
Oh, no.
Okay, good way to start the opening. We got Artemis, the Magistus Moon Maiden. Love to see it. I mean, maybe we could run a second one, though I would really prefer not to. Well, we're still not guaranteed, but most likely gonna get one more Ultra. Live Twin Home, not a good card. Well, man, that could have been a different Magistus, but then again, from the same box, we got the best card in the game, Liliona. Beat Cop from the Underworld. Another Genesis Impact pack. Sadly, we only have 2 Dual Overload packs, but, hello? Depending on what we get next week, or out of this opening, we might be able to open an entire box of Dual Overload next time. I have a box laying around, but it was $30, so I can't even open it until we see what I get out of this. Please be something good. Ninaruru. Sorry for kind of like skimming past the Genesis Impact packs. They're not that exciting to me after, what is this, probably my 6th box, personally, to open. Bahram. Just, I care about the Dual Overload packs more, which is why I'm actually saving them for last. But one thing I'm glad about is that we got Artemis, which actually enables us to sell a card this week. Iwas. Did we get... We got Ninaruru, then Vahram, and then Iwas? That's really interesting. So we got... If this was our first box of Genesis Impact, we would have already had the entire core ready. We actually even got Crowley and multiple Endymions, which means, yeah, if this is how we started it, we would have had an entire Magistus core ready. Oh boy. We got a Starlight, and it's a Link monster. We got a Starlight. Okay. Oh, I already spoiled it. It's a Nightmare Unicorn! No way! Oh. No way we got a second Starlight Unicorn. No way. Did it come back for us? That's crazy. What do I do with this? Does it want me to run it? Oh my god. Give me a second to get asleep for this. So actually the only sleeve I could find was this standard size sleeve, which I'm okay with, but how does this keep happening? Oh my god. Oh man. Okay, whatever. It could have been literally anything else. Well, we're probably not going to get an Ultra from the rest of these, so let me just push through these. And our Griffin. Okay. Let me just push through these, and then we can move on to Tool Overload. Come on, man. That's literally, I think, out of the 4 boxes that I bought for this series, well, I mean, one of them wasn't really a box. It was just a bunch of loose packs. 3 of them had, well, not for this series, but in general for YouTube, 3 of them had collector's rares. We have 2 packs of Genesis Impact. We could get the mispackaged box that has an extra Ultra Rare, maybe? Drytron Fafnir. Oh man, what the hell is going on with my luck? Man. Drytron Alpha too bad. Okay. So now the important part. 2 packs of Dual Overload. I mean, this is honestly more important, and the Artemis is pretty good too. Not sure what I'm going to do with the Artemis, but these are just as warped as the other packs. I mean, according to the guy that works at my locals, he said that he found them downstairs to the front. White Mare, Double Evolution Pill, Hollow Giants, Dark Antelian Dragon, and Levianeer. Okay. I mean, maybe we could do something with this, but probably not. It's not a bad card. Okay, now 2 to the front. Last pack. Can we end with a Halki Fibrax? Melodious Composer. You know, it's funny, I ran Melodious, so please don't bully me. Fuma. Oh. Terraforming. Man. Dreadnought Dreadnoid. Okay, what is it? It's a spell card? Is it another Sign Up Mining? Is this the same pack as the last time? I mean, Terraforming and Sign Up Mining are nice, but we can only run 1 Terraforming anyway. I mean, we might as well run a second Sign Up Mining. Doesn't hurt. These... We didn't get anything amazing for the actual deck this episode, but with what we did get... Oh my god. Let's get another look at that. Well, alright, I guess this is how this series is gonna go. I'm glad to see it. You know what, let's see if we can change the deck around a little bit so it doesn't break as badly as it did last time. Give me just 1 minute. Okay, so we're not making any really huge changes to the deck at this point. Really, all we're doing is we're taking out the Kissikill and Lilla Evil Twins because this card kind of just bricked me every single time that I tested with the deck, but that's okay. We're just going to replace it with another Sign Up Mining to make the deck a little bit more consistent. And yeah, that's really all we can do. Let's get into some games. Let's see what we could do. We start with match 1 against Madolches again, ladies and gents. Something you'll notice is that a lot of these fan favorite decks just have some super easy choke points. Not that we really have anything better. We do our +2 combo and just straight up pass turn, but we got a bounce and a juicy rock in our hand. Our opponent does literally the same thing, summoning a monster and activating one of the Madolche contiguous spell cards. We draw Rilliona, which enables us to get another special summon for Trismegistus, and for a Perform H Hat trigger. This goes on to make Nefarious or Archfiend, which brings back Rilliona, and we make Proxy F Magician in order to get the search from Archfiend. We get Phantasmade, but beat over it and attack for some chunky damage. Our opponent then Kaiju Slumbers us on his turn, but Asa has Destruction Protection. The Angelic normal summon begins a huge line of plays that ends with him getting rocked. We use Possessed Partnerships to bring back Asa and pop the Pop Rock. With that, we have full permission to attack directly, taking Game 1. Game 2, and we have Nibiru in our starting hand. We only run 1 and our opponent knows that, so he thinks he's safe. Match 2 is up against Cyber Dragons. We start with the Evil Twin combo in order to get a draw, which gets met with Imperm, which we just chain Kissikill to get the special summon anyway. We use Trismegistus to make Unicorn using Area and pass with 2 sets. On our opponent's turn, he sets a card which we immediately pop with Lilla, ending his turn immediately. On our turn, we just need to be able to pull off the OTK, and although I actually miscalculated it by 100 damage and end up missing it, we set up Griffin to negate any monster effects he activates, and then pass turn. He draws no outs, so Game 1 is ours. Game 2, our opponent summons Core and gets the search. We then immediately use Droll and he's forced to just make Almirage, set 1, and pass. We start by summoning out our whole hand, but our Endymion gets popped and our Nefarious Archfiend gets negated, so we can't really do much. We see a Core come out followed by Naxter. Then he tributes our Nefarious Archfiend for Jizukiru in order to contact fuse and get Dragoon on board, and just like that, we lost Game 2. Game 3, we start with the Endymion combo to make Toad and set Live Twin home as bait. Our opponent starts with Feather Dusters, so the bait was actually somehow huge, and we see Peng come down to pop our Toad, which we attempt to return, but it gets met with Ghost Spell. Our opponent goes Naxter into Machine Dupe, summoning out 2 Cyber Dragons from the deck. This makes Nova to destroy our Bahamut Shark and Infinity for a negate. On his turn, we bait out the negate with Synapse Mining, which works out, letting us use the Live Twin combo in order to pop Infinity, and attack for a small amount of damage. He draws nothing and passes, so we make Transcode Talker using Kiss-a-Kill and Nefarious Archfiend. Attacking again, but then accidentally making Nightmare Griffin with the wrong materials. He draws into Cyber Repair Plant, which could have actually won him the game if our board wasn't so disgusting with the Floodgate. We use Lilith to pop his Cyber Dragon core, but he uses Rev System to bring it back. He only has 1 Cyber Dragon left in deck, so all he does is make Verte, forget that we have Griffin Lock, and then we get match 2. Match 3, we're up against Arc V Blackwings. We do the regular Evil Twin combo in an attempt to draw into something usable, but we get nothing, ending with the Twins on board and 2 hand traps. Our opponent combos to get a search off another Raid Raptor card, which we droll, and he makes Redoer and attacks, doing damage and giving us a free pop, which he banishes to avoid. With how our luck is going, I thought he would take one of the 2 trap cards in the entire deck with Redoer to stop our plays, but we actually get lucky with a spell. We then proceed to pop off, summoning Luna to search, getting Secret Village, using Possessed Partnerships to fill our boards and stop him from using spells. We can't get game, but we can essentially stop him from activating monster and spell effects, floodgating him like a scumbag and giving us game 1. Game 2, we're going second. After drolling the Force Tricks, our opponent is forced to end on Simorgh, Shape Force, Infinity, Barrier Statue, and an Ash in hand, which is a Floodgate and 2 interruptions, so really that's not forced to do anything. The issue here is the same as with Dragoon, that we have absolutely no outs for Simorgh, so our opponent finishes us off with Arc Rebellion and takes Game 2. Game 3, we start with Endymion as a bait to see if we can out an Ash, and after that works out, we use Spirit Charmers to add Win and set partnerships. With Crowley in hand already, we just need to discard Win to special out Crowley, giving us a negate and a pop. With how fragile Raid Raptors are, all we need to do is negate whatever his special summon monster is. He attempts to chain to pop and special another monster, which we immediately destroy with partnerships, and with that, we make 8k damage on the next turn and get the OTK. Match 4, and if we win this one, we get at least 1 reward for the next episode. Against Drytron, we lose Rock Paper Scissors and have no interruptions. I won't go through every play, or this video will probably be 40 to 45 minutes long, but our opponent ends with Vanity and Linkuriboh. We use Signet to bait Ash, but after we don't get Ash, we use Spirit Charmers to get our search for Awakening and win. We destroy Linkuriboh, and as long as we have a Charmer on board, we can attack over Vanity the next turn using Unpossessed. We use Spirit Charmers the next turn to make sure that we have a follow-up, and he destroys our win. On our turn, we draw our 3rd Spirit Charmers, which I feel like I haven't seen once in like 5 episodes, but suddenly drew every single one of them during every single one of our games, and then we summon out Hida. We draw into Terraforming, which is absolutely huge against Drytron, and after clearing their board, we end with another set partnerships and a spell Floodgate, taking game 1. Game 2, we watch Natasha feed Turbo pop off again with no interruptions. He ends with Herald and Vanity, and we use Area to beat over Herald and set up for the next turn. After getting a Chain 4 by myself and watching my opponent get 8 cards in his hand at some point, he makes Access Code Talker since D-Barrier doesn't have a Link Call, and destroys me. Game 3, we bait with Live Twins again to get rid of Ash and use one of the 2 Spirit Charmers we drew to get Win and partnerships. With Lilla and 2 set, we pass. On his turn, we use Spirit Charmers to discard Win since we don't need it in hand, and accidentally click the cards in the wrong order, setting Area and adding Awakening to my hand. As soon as I see a Drytron monster hit the board, I use partnerships to pop it, forcing our opponent to attack into Lilia, just to get a bit of damage and passing turn. We draw a Droll, which is huge insurance for us for the next turn, and flip Area, activate Awakening, and summon Luna. Luna gets negated, but we chain it to bounce Garnet Knight and attack for some nice chunks. Our opponent draws Senju, which we activated Unpossessed for in response for some reason, and then use Droll to completely lock him out of playing the game, taking our 4th match and winning at least $4 for our next week. Final match, and if we win this, we get $10 for the next week, which would be absolutely huge with the Unicorn. Game 1, and our opponent uses Foolish Burial to send Shaddoll Beast, really getting the heart of the cards with Red Eye's Fusion as his draw to make Dragoon, and me spending the next 10 minutes attempting to unsuccessfully find it out. Game 2 is not as bad, but quite honestly, it's not all good either. We attempt to build a board with a lackluster hand that we drew into, ending with Proxy F and a negated Luna on board. We also have a set partnerships and unpossessed, but we didn't draw into any of the Charmer cards in order to abuse our sets. I hate to say it, but while we don't get OTK'd, we just don't draw an out to his board. If there is anything that we have learned from this week, it's that the 4 wins from 2 weeks back wasn't actually a fluke. With the 4 wins this week, we get another $4 for the next week of play, and with that unicorn that we pulled earlier, we have got a huge amount going into next week, if we choose to spend it all. With that unicorn, I'm going to do exactly what I did last time and let you guys choose between $40, $47.50, and $55 again, with half of that amount going into the series, being $20, $23.75, or $27.50. Weird numbers, but we've still got a lot to spend for the next week, and honestly, I obviously didn't expect to get a second unicorn, so I hope that I could find more of what we need to buy. At this point, I don't think we should keep looking for Zoroa. It was a nice hunt while it lasted, but we've gotten just about every card we need to make good functioning engines in a relatively consistent deck. What that means is that we're dropping Genesis Impact from now on, and we're going to start looking into making the deck have more ways to play through difficult fields. This means that Vanity's Fiend like we saw earlier today, and especially Dragoon because we straight up have no ways to get through it. What I'm essentially saying is that we may need to open Dual Devastator pretty badly, as boring as that might be. With the huge amount that we made from this episode, we can do that and get some packs because just opening Dual Devastator sucks the life out of me. We still have a Dual Overload box laying around, and I'd like to pick up a 2020 Megatin as well. The Mega Packs range from $6 to $7, and you can buy Dual Devastator online for like $30. With that, depending on what you guys decide, we can have enough next week to maybe open 3 Mega Packs with Dual Devastator, or possibly dream of Dual Overload packs with it. We still have the option of selling the other cards that we can't run as well, since our rule change allows us to sell anything that's over $3. There's just one more announcement that I want to make. Since you've watched for this long, it's time I tell you the grand plan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Restart and how I plan to move it forward into the future. I have always been the type of guy that loves deck building, and every single deck is not enough for me. There's always new cards out there, new decks and archetypes, new combos to learn, and new cards to not read. What that means is that Charmers are going to be a small part of a whole. This series is no longer to create the single best deck out of sealed product, it's to amass a collection of competitively viable decks that can support us for as long as we want. I love Charmers, and I've been waiting years for 2 things, a good Charmer deck, and an archetype that inherent summons from the deck. With both of my requests granted, I plan to keep this series going with more decks that I find interesting, find more fun strategies, and see what Lady Luck has in store for us. When I went into this series, I didn't expect a few things. I didn't expect the channel to grow as quickly as it did, I didn't expect the overwhelming support, and I didn't expect to be building Charmer Magistus Live Twins. When we reach a milestone with this deck, we're going to make a legend out of it. Here's what's happening in Yu-Gi-Oh! Restart's next steps. When the deck has reached a point of viability while not having to use overly expensive or hard to pull staples, the deck will be shelved temporarily and move aside for the newest deck that's taking over. Every card that's become unusable with the previous deck will be sold. The cards we keep will be future options for the deck in the event of a new future meta change or ban lists or something like that. We'll still make changes to the first deck from time to time, but we're restarting with the new deck, and we can't use cards that we pulled opening for the first deck in order to upgrade the second, but we can do it the other way around. At the end of the next deck's lifespan, we'll be given a new challenge, a duel between itself and the deck that came before it. There will be a punishment for the deck that loses, and there will be glory for the deck that wins. What that punishment is will be up to you guys. I haven't decided on that yet, and this is pretty far off in the future, so I'm not going to ask this right now, but you guys will take part in deciding how it's all gonna work out. This series has grown well beyond me and has done some astounding things. I've gotten Discord messages and even texts from friends telling me that I got them into the game with my videos, which is some incredible support, and I get some great comments. This series has grown so much thanks to all of you guys and what you've done for me, and all I can say is thank you. I wouldn't be playing this game for almost 20 years if I didn't love it, and I love to make these videos. I can even confidently say that I've gotten better at the game compared to how I was before. Maybe you guys don't like the idea though, maybe you would prefer me just doing Charmers for Restart, but for this episode, let's just make the question, what would you like to see from me? As much as I love this monstrosity of a deck I've created, I don't think it'll be fun watching me open the same box episode after episode to look for a single core secret or something like that. But I've obviously never done it before, so maybe you guys would prefer to see that? Let me know what you guys think. Again guys, this has been Yu-Gi-Oh! Restart. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for everything. I'm Demo, and have a great day and or night.